I'm Sean Cooper, President and owner of Fit Financial Consulting, LLC, a registered investment advisor. And today we're continuing the discussion of annuities and jumping over to fixed indexed annuities. So transitioning from last week's discussion on fixed annuities. Like fixed annuities, fixed index annuities have a guaranteed component. However, fixed index annuities actually have two components. The first is that guaranteed rate, which is typically going to be quite a bit lower than your fixed annuity because of the second component of the fixed index annuity, which is a market tie-in. So you are actually tied into an index like the S&P 500 or the Russell 2000 or some other index out there that essentially allows you to participate in some upside of the market and the potential to realize higher returns than that minimum guarantee that's being offered without the risk of losing substantial amounts of money that you might have if you were in the market yourself. So when you're looking at that, it sounds pretty great to have a minimum guarantee, a market tie-in that allows you to participate in the upside to potentially get more than the guarantee, but you've got that rock bottom of that minimum guarantee that you're never going to get less than that. However, there's a couple of things to keep in mind when you're looking at that market participation, and that is the fact that the insurance company is going to tether that participation via the use of caps, participation rates, or spreads, or even some combination of those three, and they may even come up with additional terms in the future. But essentially what all three of those do is prevent you from realizing the full upside of the market or the index that you're participating in, and that allows the insurance company to make more money on the contract. To discuss those a little bit further, the cap is essentially a maximum amount that the insurance company is ever going to credit your account in any given year or month or quarter or however they set it up. But an example of that would be an 8% cap. So if your index is up by 15% for the year, you're going to be credited 8% and the insurance company takes the other 7%. On the other hand, if the index is only up 5%, you'll be credited the full 5% because you haven't hit your cap. A participation rate is going to work quite a bit differently, where you'll be credited a set percentage of the index regardless of what it does. So an example would be a participation rate of 80%. If the index is up 15%, you'd be credited 12% and the insurance company gets the other 3%. Whereas if the index was up 5%, you'd be credited 4% and the insurance company keeps the other 1%. A spread would be similar to that, except almost on the opposite end of the spectrum, where the insurance company is going to take kind of the first percentage that you earn. So an example might be a 2% spread. So if the index was up 15%, they'd credit you 3% or 13%. And if the index was up 5%, they'd credit you 3%. So they're always keeping that 2% spread. Some insurance contracts are even going to combine some of these caps, participation rates, and spreads. An example might be an 80% participation rate with an 8% cap. And sticking to our prior examples, if the index is up 15%, the cap would kick in and you'd only be credited 8%. Whereas if the index was only up 5%, the participation rate would kick in and you'd only be credited 4%. So you get the lesser of the two at all times. Whatever the case may be, the real point is you want to understand the restrictions that the insurance company is placing on your market participation, as well as the minimum guarantee, because it's not necessarily as great as it initially sounds. Next week, we'll jump over to variable annuities. And as always, if you have questions, give me a call at 720-808-6979 or shoot me an email at sean.cooper@fitfinancialconsulting.com. Thanks.